I'm back, and so now we want to find out how can we protect ourselves against mass wasting. So the first thing is we need to know where has mass wasting occurred so that we can protect ourselves against it. So what would be some signs of mass wasting? Well, in this picture here, you can see where the ground has slumped up at the top, and you can also see that down at the bottom how the ground is kind of wrinkled as a result of it. So you could be on the lookout for that. Another thing might be a change in the vegetation, so that in the place where the ground has been pulled down, the vegetation could have died as a result of that. Another thing is on that house or barn there, you'll notice that the foundation could be cracked because it was resting on top of this material that moved. Okay, another thing is to look at those power lines, and you can see that some of them are tilted over as a result of being moved downhill. You can see that the road has been damaged as a result of it. So you might want to read some of the other things that are on that chart there, but it shows some things that indicate that mass wasting has occurred. Okay, so how do we protect ourselves against mass wasting? Well, one is by planting vegetation. So vegetation is going to have roots. The roots are going to help to hold things together, and it's going to help it to make it less likely that things are going to slide. Okay, another one is going to be terracing. And so terracing is going to be when the original slope is like this. Instead, what we do is we cut into it like this, so that now what we have is much reduced slopes here and here. Of course, now the problem though is now you have much increased slopes here and here, so that if you don't keep up on it, what happens is material from up here will start to fill this area in, and given enough time, it will go right back to its original slope. But this is one way of keeping materials from going downhill. Here in the Ozarks of Missouri in North America, we have these big hills made of limestone. And so the highway department, when they put in the highways, they try to make everything as straight as possible. So that here in Missouri, what we have is they've terraced the road like this, so that the highway is down here, and then they put these terraces so that if rocks do fall, then the rocks are going to fall onto these terraces and they don't fall onto the highway. But that is one way of protecting yourself against mass wasting. Okay, another thing is by lowering the water table. So if soil has lots of water in it, it's going to be more likely to slide. So if we were to lower the water table, then that means that the area above that water table is going to dry out, and it's going to be less likely to slide. And that's what this is illustrating here. Okay, relocating a river. So the closer a river is to a cliff, so if you have a cliff like this and then the river is right here, this river is going to be eroding this cliff, and eventually this material is going to fall into it. So sometimes the Army Corps of Engineers, what they will do is they will make a new place over here where the river can flow, and then they can fill this part in with soil. And now notice that the river is going to be further away from here, and it's going to be less likely that it's going to cut into that cliff. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about adding material to absorb water waves.